Not that that's something I think about too often, but I try to be conscientious.
I try not to think because that just leads to bad things for me.
It's showtime, ladies and gentlemen. This is Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monk. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how the hell you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm okay. We would have been here a couple minutes ago, guys, but we were. I really hate talking to you before the show, Jack, and not because it's talking to you, but because we lose things that really would have been great on the show.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
we
I'm
do that a
also
lot.
reminded that we say things that just can't be on the show.
Yeah,
So it's like a double-edged sword.
we gotta start doing an
Um,
after party thing where because
oh,
every time we end the show too, we end up talking for a while and it ends up being great content.
I was gonna save this story till later because it's just silly. But this is what we were talking about, guys. On your screen there, these are two married people who aren't married to one another, but are having what might be called marital relations, Jack.
Yes, he is knowing her biblically.
Yes, and Diva Jilly there on the left is married to a dude who came out on the 25th, so technically 2 days ago now, and told the whole world that his wife is kind of a hoe.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
go
jeez.
ahead.
No, it's impressive how this sort of thing happens.
The the troll on the right is a streamer named Moon who does GTA streaming, Grand Theft Auto streaming. And him and her role play in this stream as a couple, and they decided apparently to take it outside of the role play and hump for real.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. That dude is a troglodyte.
That dude looks like the reflection in a car door. This he looks like Boogie standing in front of a car door and somebody took a picture of the door.
Yeah, it's like a freaky funhouse mirror kind of thing. The dude is repulsive, and she's not hideous.
No, she's cute.
Yeah, this makes no sense to me at all. Like, lady, who touched your no squares?
Yeah,
Seriously.
and her husband is normal looking. I mean, he's kind of angular, but he's not like a big fat slob like her boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't get this at all.
As a
Oh,
man, look, ladies, I know you guys have the, oh, but it's an emotional. I get that. I understand. But as a man, I don't understand fucking somebody that looks like Honey Boo Boo's mom with a mustache and beard.
yeah.
I
Like,
I don't get how you can get turned on by that.
unless her picture is heavily filtered, she's not that bad looking, even by my standards. I can recognize that she is cute, but dear God, lady, what are you doing? Does he remind you of like your stepdad or something? Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? That dude's probably got a werewolf sweater on under that shirt, too, which his shirt says come, by the way.
Yeah, and there are words we can say that I crossed out on the picture because you can get more in trouble for them being on the picture. The words that are crossed out there are pussy, cum, and my load. For anybody who was wondering.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring this up not just because it's funny to laugh at the fact that she traded down. She, like I told you, she's like a 6 at least. And he's not even on the scale. He's under the scale.
Yeah, I mean,
He's in negative territory.
he's balding weird and unevenly. He's fat. He looks stinky. Everything about this guy says he probably like doesn't just huff his own farts, but he sniffs his poop before he flushes so he can test the veracity of it. He just looks icky. Everything about this guy says that, ladies, if you saw him in a dark alley, you would run.
Yeah. No
And
lady is walking down the street and seeing him and creaming herself.
yeah, except maybe this chick. Real
No,
quick,
no. This is because of their online romantic nonsense. I guarantee you when she first saw him, she wasn't like, "Oh my god, I got to have that." It was after their role play, and there's more to it that I do want to get to, but real quick, Seal, thank you so much for becoming a member for month number 15. Thank you. Thank
Woo!
you. Woohoo, 2 nights in a row. I'm as surprised as you are.
Uh, real quick. Thank you, Shio, who says today's the anniversary of me avoiding the coat hanger. Can you all do me a favor and annoy chat by singing?
Shio, my friend, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear Shio.
Shio. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday, sir. Hope you have a good one. I really, really do. Shio's great. If you guys don't follow him on social medias and stuff, you should, because he's funny as hell and says a lot of stuff that we're not allowed to say on here. Jack, did you read the post from this chick's husband?
Yes.
The whole thread?
Not the whole thread.
Okay. In the whole thread, he tells us that they've had this little online thing that he knew about. It was just sexual empowerment and nothing for him to really worry about. Gentlemen, when women tell you that shit, go to the VD clinic and kick her out.
Yeah.
But he says something later. It's about halfway through the thread. He says, I was unemployed, and she told me my job was to watch other GTA streamers to keep an eye on things so she knew when to go live and stuff. And I'm like, homie, she had no respect for you. She had you keeping an eye out while she's doing sexy sex talk live in front of everybody with another dude.
Yeah. So she's a GTA streamer too?
She's his role play girlfriend, yeah.
No, the husband.
No, he doesn't do anything. He used to stream something, I forget what, but now all he does is keep an eye out so his wife can fake bang another dude until she has time to bang him for real.
Yeah, that's weird. Get a job, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Hey,
clearly has no respect for you.
guys, you want to know if your woman's going to cheat on you? Find out if she respects you, because if she doesn't respect you, she will cheat on you. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, I just don't understand what she saw in that and went, ooh, I got to get me some of Tubby.
Yeah.
And their messages are pretty explicit.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty graphic.
They're nasty.
And seriously, lady, get your eyes checked. Have some standards. Get in therapy. Tell the therapist or the cops who touched you, because if you're stooping to banging this land pirate, then you have really, really derailed your life in a very unpleasant way, and I'm very sorry to hear it.
There's a great video from Moon there from about a month ago. Maybe it's only 2 weeks ago, where he's talking about how he respects his wife too much to ever cheat on her. Whoopsie.
Somebody married that trog?
Yes.
Oh my god. I bet she's a fatty too.
I just want to point out to all of the folks out there who are like, you can't find love. That fat, ugly motherfucker is slaying 2 pussies. You can get 1.
Yeah, he's like the Nick Rekieta of GTA.
Anyway, that's just a silly story and a reminder that most streamers are shitbags and you should stay away from them. Just saying. Not us. Not us. You should stay away from me because I don't want to be bored with your life, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm an asshole, so don't bother.
If you have something you really want to talk about, by all means hit me up. But I don't even talk to my friends on a daily basis. Like, I just reached out to a friend today because me and him haven't talked in literal months. Like, just checking in, see how you're doing. That's how you're friends with me.
Yeah.
I'm not your everyday friend. That's somebody else.
I don't mind hanging out with people and like talking to them, but I just don't have time. And I've become very grouchy because I'm so busy and overwhelmed with everything. I literally spend the majority of my day hanging out with my parents so that they don't try and do stuff and die.
I also have no interest in looking for a woman. I have a woman. I don't need another one. I'm good. And going out and looking for another one is just going to cause you troubles you don't need.
Yeah, what a fucking hassle. I don't have the mental capacity to deal with two women who are going to be whining and complaining all the goddamn time and then
Yeah.
running around cheating, trying to cover it up. No, fuck that. The upkeep is not worth my energy.
Spud says, nah, the best friends are the ones you speak to for 15 minutes once a month. Ask Satsu. Me and him talked on the phone the other day. And before that, it might have been 2 months since we last talked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I am a loner most of the time.
Yeah.
I like to do my shit. You know what I mean?
I think we've discovered the real reason he's not doing shows as often. He's just avoiding me.
I just need my alone time, damn it.
Yeah.
Speaking of alone time, Biden had himself some today, Jack, as Kamala Harris welcomed Vladimir Zelenskyy to the White House.
Yeah. Yeah, Zelensky showed up at something her and Walls was doing at a munitions plant. Like he's inspecting it. Like, fuck you, dude. The fucking freeloader. This guy's a parasite. I am so tired of all our money going to this guy's a little dead end war.
Can we talk about the picture on the screen there for a second? If I'm Zelensky, I'm pissed right now. The president of the United States couldn't be bothered. It's not like he's busy or anything to meet with him this time. He had to go deal with Kamala. Now, look, you want to pay off the person who's going to have the job next, not the current one. I get that. But this is a bad look.
Yeah, it is.
And not only that, look at the room that they're in. It looks like they're in the fucking basement.
Kind of does, doesn't it?
Normally, when they have a state leader over, it's in that rounded room. Is it the Oval Office where they do that?
There's a couple of rooms they do it in. The one with the big gold curtains or whatever.
Thank you, Wabajak. Shio doesn't have OCD; he has OBCD. Back to cake making. Thank you so much.
Thank you. What?
I said, make him a good cake.
Yeah, cake. Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker, who says she just wanted Gimli to get on her box. Ew!
Yeah.
Even Gimli was better looking than that dude, though.
Lieber says the press room. Yeah, they do it there. I mean, they do it on the White House lawn in the garden. And they put him in the basement this time so they could have a. This was a campaign event. Let's be honest about it. And can anybody show me another time that she had a public statement like this with Zelensky? He's been to the White House numerous times. Have you seen those two meeting up? No, because he's the leader of a nation, and you don't have the leader of a nation come to the fucking White House to meet with the VP.
It does kind of. They've been playing this little game where Kamala's the de facto president.
Sure.
But she doesn't say that on the campaign trail. But they present her that way.
Did you see the other day where Biden came out and basically said he delegated the role of president to her?
Yeah, it's just so sad. Like, he just doesn't care anymore.
He's like, Obama did that with me. No, he didn't, first of all. They kept you hidden in a closet, bitch. And they're just doing it to try to make. There were a lot of people who were like, "Oh, he's trying to tank her on this." No, he's not. He's trying to show that she's done something because she's the vice president and basically worthless unless he dies, because they don't have the balls to 25th his ass like they should. I do wonder if she wins the election, if they'll 25th him or he'll step down before Inauguration Day.
Oh, he'll step down.
But yeah, this is just kind of so dirty and it feels slimy. I mean, it is such a blatant political move. And I'm not talking your normal, I'm a campaign political move. And they still couldn't even do it right. He's in the fucking base. This looks like the basement of a house in the 60s. I know he's totally meeting with the vice president because he doesn't want to get anything done. I don't even know. The only other reason to meet with her, is to give a payoff directly to her since she'll be the next president if she wins.
He might be giving her the plans for the next lunatic that's going to show up and go after Trump.
Oh, could be. Pumpkin Trucker, thank you so much. There have been plenty of pictures of Zelenskyy and Kamala, excuse me, look under the desk. Fair enough. He's too short for her to get down there under the desk. I don't know if you've noticed, but she's taller than him. He's wearing heels too. They got the tiny, it's almost embarrassing. If I was Zelenskyy, I would be pissed, honestly. Because this looks like disrespect. This is how I would treat him. If he showed up at my house asking for money, like, go talk to the VP. She can't do anything anyway. You guys can have a room in the basement. Go talk. Nobody cares.
I think he is such a whore that he doesn't care.
I think that, again, he knows with what we saw with Biden. I mean, you do the payoff up front, like we saw with Adams, if the indictment is correct. Holy shit. Did you see that thing?
Yeah.
There was a joke going around today about him getting pouches of nicotine, and that would actually be better than some of the charges that are in there. The Kamala thing, other than the two of them being whores and this giving me a reason to call them both whores, I just wanted to bring it up because this is nasty. This is dirty. This is gross. This is using the White House in a campaign thing for the VP.
Yep. Some would say it's foreign election interference.
It's absolutely foreign election interference. And the White House letting Kamala have this. If you guys didn't watch it, I'm going to save you some time. It's boring as shit. Nothing is really said. And at the end, both Kamala and Zelenskyy are quickly rushed off so they could get a couple of snaps of her. Did you see the picture of the two of them walking? That's the screen, the thumbnail on this. She's the vice president of the United States. She's the vice president of the United States, wants to be the president of the United States, and she's walking behind him. Hey, Kamala, I don't know if you know this, but that is the subservient role. That's where the second in command walks. When you're the leader of America, in this case, pretending to be, you don't let a motherfucker be walking in front of you. But I guess he knows what we all do is, he's the money machine, She wants to get some of that kickback money the way Joe has. Better know who's in charge here.
Yeah, well, I think they do know, and it's Zelenskyy.
She knows her play. It's sad. It's really sad. And optics do matter. Optics matter. And she's trailing him like a little lost fucking puppy.
I think Mez onto something. She's keeping an eye on him so he doesn't steal anything.
Well, at the time, they're outside. And
I wouldn't rule out the chance he would steal something.
I don't even know why they're taking that picture there.
Oh.
Look how important she looks as a subservient to Zelenskyy.
Well, maybe she'll bow to some Saudis next, like Obama did.
Next up, this was blowing up when I woke up today. A guy named Ken Klippenstein, totally his real name.
Obviously.
Got kicked off of Twitter today, Jack. And, he shared the Iranian dossier. Well, it's the Trump dossier stolen by Iran and given out to reporters who, in their defense, none of them took the bait. They're like, nah, this is Iranian interference, clearly. We've had people arrested for this already, or at least indicted for it.
Yeah.
But Ken decided he was going to put it out there. He's going to do what those pussy-ass journalists wouldn't do. And so he links to a story that he wrote. And in the story he wrote, he links to the dossier itself, which contains the first 5 numbers of Vance's social security number,
Jesus.
his telephone number, his home address. Yeah, so he got suspended for this. And the Krasensteins are where I first saw it. And they're like, how is this any different than the muting of the laptop story? How's this any different than that censorship? Like, really? Because that laptop story didn't contain Hunter's social security number, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. It also doxed a bunch of JD Vance's friends and family, if I remember the story correctly.
That part I didn't see, but I wouldn't be shocked by it.
I did see, I think it was Ed said something to the effect of, how come nobody that doxes me ever gets suspended or something like that? To which the comment I was forced to delete said, nobody cares enough about you to kill you.
Nice. This is Clip News. This is Ken Klippenstein's cousin. Says to be clear, Ken Klippenstein did not publish any private information on X. He linked to an article he wrote, which linked to a document.
Distinction without a difference.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I totally didn't publish his information here. I just published where you can go get the information. I saw Matt Tiabi. He's like, no, he should just have to take down the post. I'm like, he doxed the guy running for VP.
Yeah, look, this is a national security issue. You didn't just dox some random YouTuber or something.
I don't even mind if you think that, hey, he should get 2 weeks off, not forever. But there should be some. I got 12 hours for saying Kamala should fake COVID.
Yeah.
Certainly doxing a vice presidential candidate is worse than that.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, Matt Tiabi's still a leftist asshole. I don't mind him most of the time, but there were a lot of people. Oh, you're for censorship? In this case, yes, 100%. I am 100% in favor of censoring doxes. Yes. And I feel no shame about that.
This is putting people in actual jeopardy because there are known assassins trying to kill these people.
No. I was actually told because both Trump assassins failed, that proves JD Vance isn't in any danger.
That's the stupidest fucking shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's this troll I was fucking with, and I made him cry repeatedly. Got to call him a pussy and suggest his mom was a whore. So I had fun.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, that's what neither of them actually killed Trump. So JD Vance is not in any real danger. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. What about his kids? His kids live at that house, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, his wife and kids aren't running for anything. They're just normal people minding their own. Fucking ridiculous.
And
don't dox people.
The dossier itself, I mean, the parts that you might be able to point to and go, ooh, look at Vance, he's an asshole, is all stuff that's already out there. It's a lot of stuff about how JD Vance didn't used to like Trump.
Yep.
And it was Ed Krasenstein. This is where I first saw it going, he got taken down, but I saved the important parts of the dossier. And he posted it. And all of it is like, JD Vance said he didn't like Trump. JD Vance said he was a never Trumper. JD Vance talked shit about Trump. Like, yeah, this is all known.
Yeah, it's pretty explicitly stated around. I mean, JD Vance used to be fatter too.
Yeah. Evil One, I feel your pain on that one. I've never used that term on Twitter, but I'm expecting to get in trouble any day now because I told that guy he was too cowardly to be a cunt. Because he's just out there like cheering this on because it's JD Vance and he doesn't like, he's MAGA for Harris, don't you know? And
that makes lots of sense as a sentence.
I know, right? MAGA for Harris. Sure you are. But he doesn't even have the balls to do it himself. He's just cheering on somebody else being an asshole. At least have the balls to do it yourself.
Nah, most of these people are cowards.
They are. They are, a lot of them. But you have a whole bunch of people misunderstanding. Look, I am for free speech. Doxing somebody, I'm okay with them taking that shit offline because there's no reason to do that except to try to put people in danger.
Yeah,
That's it.
maybe I can think of one or two exceptions, like somebody's in immediate danger and the person you're going to dox is the one trying to kill them. That okay, I get that. That's more of a law enforcement issue. You should probably take up with the cops. But yeah,
But
there's
even
really no
then,
good reason.
even
Pedophiles,
then,
they're
the
not
goal
people.
was to get them in trouble so that they don't kill someone.
Yeah. See, I just don't understand why you want to dox people because you don't like them. Why are you trying to get somebody hurt just because you don't like them?
Because that's who these people are.
Yeah, it makes you a vicious little coward.
What else do we have today? Okay, I just want to say before this starts, kids should not be used as political tools.
I agree.
But CNN disagrees with us. So they went and talked to a whole bunch of kids, and this happened.
What's the first word that pops into your head when you hear the name Kamala Harris?
Liar.
I
mean,
the end.
He's not wrong.
Cut.
There's another great one. Oh shit, I thought I opened that one. I missed it. I don't know why CNN is going to elementary schools to talk to kids about politics.
They're probably trying to enroll these kids to vote.
But this is probably even more damning than the last one.
It'd be good for us to have a black woman as president for the first time in history.
Yeah.
But my vote's kind of still on Trump.
Shit like this gives me a little bit of hope for the future. This is a little black girl, for those of you who are just listening along. A little black girl who just said, I think it would be great to have the first black female president ever, but my vote is still for Trump. So much for that representation. She needs to feel represented.
No, I think that could have been better if she had said, I think it'd be great to have a black female president, but Kamala's not black.
I mean, she basically said, just not that black woman president. When is CNN going to get it through their head? They need to stop asking people questions because every time they do, they get embarrassed. One of two things is happening here. Either they keep getting embarrassed or they're doing this on purpose. And I think it leans more towards them doing it on purpose. I think they are pissed at the Kamala campaign for the NBC or sorry, the ABC debate. Because ABC and the administration basically came out and said that CNN just let Trump lie over and over again and they suck at their jobs. And I think CNN took that shit personal. Because while many of the people on their channel are still clearly in her corner, if you're in her corner, why do you show this video? Why would you show either of these videos?
I don't know.
See what I'm saying? This is embarrassing for her.
Yeah, I don't think they like Harris because they know she's dumb. And I don't think they expected Biden to drop out. And I think they're kind of pissed about it because the debate that he was on their channel and it was a catastrophe.
Look, I don't put a lot of stock in these children's opinions. They hear what their parents say and they're repeating it.
Yeah.
But that's even worse for Kamala. This is a young black girl. Do you think her parents are white yuppies?
I suspect likely not.
Probably not. She's probably not Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
She probably has black parents who are in support of Trump. So instead of just one little black girl, there's at least one grown black person, probably two, who are like, yeah, fuck that Kamala bitch.
Well, statistically, one.
This is embarrassing for Kamala. This is their whole thing. Like, you need representation. That's why she had to be black and have a vagina to be Biden's VP, because little black girls need somebody to look up to. And this little black girl's like, fuck that bitch. I'm going with the guy who everybody tells me is racist. This is a little black girl on television going with the racist. Can it get more
hilarious?
Hilarious is a good word for it. Damning for them?
I mean, probably not.
This is just this is bad for the Kamala campaign. It really is.
I think what really adds to that is that little girl's half smile at the end.
Oh, she's just so cute.
Yeah, I'm still voting for Trump.
She looks like Flava Flav if Flav wasn't ugly.
I don't know if that's possible.
Thank you, Dangerous. Generally, I draw the free speech line at trying to prevent the free speech of others. So if you're doxing to try to scare people into silence or slander to discredit people, I'm okay with that censorship. Look, I think the guy should have to take it down, and he should at least get a month ban. I was kicked off for like 7 months over some bullshit.
Yeah, well, just about every time you've been booted, you haven't deserved it.
Yeah, there's only been one or two that I absolutely 100% without question did deserve. Hell, there were ones I deserved I didn't get. So there were a couple of posts where I made them and then I immediately went and said, I'll miss you guys. And nothing happened. I was shocked by it. And I'd like to thank those people for not being cowards and turning me in.
Yeah, it's so rare to find people that aren't giant pussies these days.
Fuck, my very first one, the 7 days for the sensitive as a clit thing, came like 3 months after I did it because Cat Black got pissed off at something else I said.
Yeah, she's baby anyway.
Yeah. Can you play the first one again? I can. You're gonna have to give me a second though, because I closed it. I gotta find it in my timeline to reopen it.
Swing low.
I wasn't that busy on here today. Did you see the video of the comedian with the sign language interpreter?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I cannot play that one on TV, or I guess I might be on your TV. I can't play that on YouTube because he uses the word retard way too much.
Comedically so.
Comedically so. True. All right, Frosted, here you go, my friend.
What's the first word that pops into your head when you hear the name Kamala Harris?
Liar.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's just young because the first word that should pop into his head is hoe. Hoe bag, I would accept also.
My dad said she has knee bruises.
She's a dirty slut. That's too many words, Tinny.
Dad said Montel did her.
I wanted to bring this up just because it pissed me off when I saw it last night. I actually saw this because Mike Harlow retweeted and he's sorry I like their chicken too much. Says,
you have great chicken.
If a restaurant was taking the money they make and giving it to organizations trying to dissolve your marriage and take your kids away from you, you wouldn't give a shit if they have really good lemonade. You wouldn't eat there. Don't eat at Chick-fil-A.
You mean people that are trying to destroy my family unit, make my kids gay and cut their junk off? So look, I shouldn't give money to teachers? Okay, I'm fine with that.
If you're not on the left, then almost every corporation that you shop through is this for you. Who want to destroy your marriages and take away your kids because that 10-year-old totally knows that he's actually a girl.
Yeah.
Tim Walz literally made his state a sanctuary so they can steal kids from other states to cut off their genitals.
Yep.
I'm sorry, they don't do that. To give gender affirming care.
Gender affirming care.
These
They'll grow out of
motherfuckers,
and regret later.
these motherfuckers one time have a company that's like, yeah, we don't give a shit about your stupid shit. We're just gonna make chicken. And like, I can't believe how horribly they treat us.
Why won't you bend the knee? You're attacking us. I do love Chick-fil-A though. They're always so friendly. Even the little pink-haired weirdo girl that works there with the nose ring, she's very friendly. They give me my food in a timely manner, and it's delicious.
I don't think I told you or told the story on here, but I think I told you about it offline. Last time we went to Chick-fil-A, there was this little retarded worker there. And me and Lady Monkey, we sat near the back of the restaurant. It has an L-shaped dining room. And we were at the back of the L. And he just kept hanging around like, what the fuck is with this kid? As soon as we were done with our meal and put everything on the tray, bam, he was right there. Can I take that for you? And he was the happiest little guy you ever. He stood there the whole fucking time we ate, just waiting to do his one job of cleaning up the tables.
That's kind of awesome because he's like, wait, he looks like he's done. No, he's not done. He's still got some fries. Okay, he's eating the fries. Oh, she's eating one. Okay, they're done. I'm gonna ask.
Yes, he would clean a little bit, and then he'd stop and watch us for a little bit, and then he'd clean some more. It was wonderful. It was awesome.
Yeah, dude, that's pride in the workplace. You don't see that anymore these days.
You know where you really, if you've ever worked with retarded people, both at McDonald's and at Walmart, we employed retarded people. They have pride in their work like nobody else.
They're either the laziest fuckers who get away with everything, or they're very hard workers. There's no middle ground.
We never had any of the lazy ones. We always had the ones that were just the friendliest, nicest, hardest working for what they could do. People that you saw. Granted, they couldn't do much. They cleaned lobby or were door greeters, but still.
Yeah, we busted one when I was working store security who was stuffing CDs down his pants. He stole one every day.
Oh,
and we caught him doing it 15 times or something ridiculous like that. Got it written down somewhere. And they wouldn't fire him for the longest time because they're like, look, no, we have to have, the union insists that we have to have some special people here. And we're like, but he's stealing. And they're like, we'll just write it off. And finally he stole something valuable and they had to fire him.
Were you at least getting like paid from the state for hiring him?
Yeah, there was some sort of, the union was making money off of him being there. You have to have so many special people, and the union got some kind of kickback from the government. I didn't really listen. I didn't really understand it and didn't care. I was just like, I want to fire this guy because he smells and he steals. So,
thank you, Dangerous. Chick-fil-A, which never opens on Sunday, opened after the Pulse shooting to provide free food to people donating blood for victims.
Yep.
Those gay helping homophobic bastards. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you don't have to agree with somebody to do something nice for them. And people lose sight of that. That was something really nice that Chick-fil-A didn't have to do.
They never point to any actual homophobic behavior or anybody being treated poorly for being gay. It's just the guy who owns it, because it is privately owned, he has these religious beliefs and doesn't believe in gay marriage. And that's not a crime.
And how does that affect the delicious chicken they're making me? I'm getting kind of hungry. So,
if you want to go eat Popeyes or KFC and get the inferior chicken because you're gay, I would call you gay for doing that. But knock yourself out. You're not going to talk me out of Chick-fil-A. I've loved that shit since I lived in Virginia. It took decades before I was able to have it again, and they finally started open restaurants up here. I'm going to eat my Chick-fil-A, and you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, look, at least at Popeyes, you get a fight show. Like, it's like sitting ringside while you're eating your food. But Chick-fil-A's classy.
For the record, I like both Popeyes and KFC, but if I'm given the choice, I'm going to Chick-fil-A.
I'm not a big KFC person, but yeah, I mean, given the choice, I'm either going to Chick-fil-A or Raising Cane's, because they're right near each other, they're like a mile apart.
Chick-fil-A's grilled nuggets, I'm not saying I would kill for them, but I would maim for them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody's losing a part.
Oh,
Those are delicious.
they're so tasty. Nom, 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 nom.
And their Chick-fil-A sauce is delicious.
Oh, I love that they sell that shit in stores.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. I have a bottle in my fridge right now.
Oh, I wish I did. I wish I had some chicken right now.
All right, moving along. Jack, did you see the trailer for the new John Wick girl movie?
No, the ballerina one. I heard
It
it's
looks-
out. I haven't seen it.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the John Wick movies are pretty entertaining. They're mindless popcorn fun.
Well, that is John Wick's secret, is that it is just an action movie. They don't try to fill it with. They got a little silly by 4.
I didn't
And-
see 4 yet.
3 and 4, both I think were a little bit too silly. But if you like, they were still good, fun action shoot 'em ups and stuff. But not loaded down with too much nonsense. They don't have any dumbass romantic subplots.
Yep. That's
It's
what's
just-
great about them.
They killed your dog, and now he's killing everybody you've even ever walked past. And America was fine with it.
Yeah. Look, that's going back to the 80s where we had fun, brainless action films.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a thin narrative of a plot. Commando was great for that because that movie's fucking ridiculously stupid.
so
If you
stupid.
actually look at the plot, it's fucking ridiculous. But it's just a shoot 'em up. It's a reason to go blow stuff up. Rambo 3
Yep.
was the same way. The first one had a much deeper story. The second one a little thinner. By the time you got to the third one, you're like, I don't even fucking care. Just blow shit up. Exploding arrows, dude. Really. Same with the missing in action ones. Pretty much anything with Cynthia Rothrock. It's just brainless fun. And that's okay, Hollywood. Make the money, dumbasses.
What I like about this, and this is even in this trailer, Jack, is they're telling the woman, you're weaker, you're going to get beat up, and if you want a chance to win, you need to cheat.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah, that's 100%. And I'm going to spoil it, but it's in the trailer. There's one part she slices a motherfucker with a ice skate. I'm like, yes, that's a
Yeah.
weapon that will even the odds for you. Hit
Absolutely.
that motherfucker with it.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, thank you, Frosted Glass. I went to Chick-fil-A so much before my diet that they mailed me a hat. I didn't even ask for it. It wasn't my proudest accomplishment, but I ended up wearing it during a body shot in Talladega. So I ain't getting rid of that thing.
Nice.
Doing a body shot. That's awesome. Thank you, Frosted.
Danger says, what? They said that in a Hollywood trailer? Yeah, and if you go look at the comments on this, by now there's probably somebody like that idiot I talked about last night, or like, they're woke. Nobody's saying that. Everybody's like, this looks good as shit. I want to go see it.
I think Hollywood is starting to realize what sells and what doesn't again. Like they've lost so much money in the last 7 years that they're starting to realize that what they were doing wasn't working. Like the ship is slowly turning.
If Scarlett Johansson jumped up and wrapped her legs around my head and tried to flip me over the way she does to, 250-pound men in movies, she would just fall off of me.
Yeah, quite likely you might get a little neck strain, but
Yeah.
you can easily remove that woman. She is not that big. She's not that strong.
And look, there's going to be parts of this, because there's a part in the trailer where she's wrapped around this dude's arm and he's beating her into a table. And she ends up breaking his arm. Again, this is all in the trailer. I'm not spoiling shit that's not in the trailer here. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't. But if you look at John Wick, he got hit by like 8 cars in the opening scene of 2.
Yeah.
So I can suspend some disbelief.
Like I used to tell people all the time, if you were watching any superhero movie or any action film and you can insert the music that goes da-na, na-na, it's a superhero film.
Yeah.
Because James Bond was a superhero. He's damn near invincible. They beat the shit out of him, but he doesn't die. It's the same concept. It's not real. It's escapism. Just suspend your disbelief and enjoy it. They're going to have some elements where you're like, that won't really happen, but you just kind of roll with it. If they're doing it all the time, it ruins the film.
Yeah, it can't be the whole movie.
Yeah.
Johnny Hellcat, thank you so much. I like the part where she has that guy in the arm bar and she has to work to break his arm. Yeah. But again, he's slamming her into a table, and in real life, she probably would have got knocked unconscious. But it's something you can suspend disbelief because she doesn't like flip him over doing it. She's clinging on for dear life, trying to break his arm so he'll let go.
Yeah, she's still working for it.
Yeah.
It's not just that Mary Sue crap if she goes in and beats the shit out of every guy. You know, it's not the Batgirl or that stupid Robin Hood Canadian crap.
Yes. Frosted, thank you. Scarlett can wrap her legs around me anytime. Hey, she willingly banged Harvey many times, so you might have a shot, dude.
That chick is not attractive. I'm sorry. Those thunder thighs and the moon face. Be like banging Jay Leno with extra flab.
Oh, no, she's cute.
No, she's not. No, her and Jennifer Lawrence are two of the most overrated actresses in Hollywood. I watched that X-Men Apocalypse again the other night because I was bored and it was on. And dear God, that chick is so middle of the road. Like, people love this chick. Why? She's very average and she has weird looking boobs.
She's girl next door. That's all it is.
I don't know what kind of neighbors you had, but I didn't live near a radioactive wasteland. Because that chick, there's some mutations going on there. She's the only real mutant in those movies because her boobs look lopsided and have huge areolas or something. And she's got a weird neck. It changes size from scene to scene. Look at her neck. That's why her collar's always up.
Is anybody else getting the feeling that Jack has been hurt by women named Scarlett and Jennifer?
Jennifer, yes, but not Scarlett. No, Jennifer Lawrence is just, I mean, Scarlett Johansson is better looking than Jennifer Lawrence, but only in most of her body, not her weird mom thighs and fupa. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't find those chicks attractive, dude. I don't get the attraction. They're what I would be slumming for if the hot Asian stripper wasn't gonna bang me. They look like the D team at 2 p.m. at the strip club.
In other words, they look like they have a healthy fat content, and Jack's like, ew, I need you a little bit more Schindler's List.
I feel a little judged,
Jack's
but
List?
I'm okay with it. Jack's List. Nice.
Oh, fuck. We just have different taste in women. That's what it is.
Yeah, I insist they do cardio.
Danger Spaces, thank you. To be fair, in John Wick 4, there was a scene where a tiny Asian woman defeated a much bigger dude. However, she kept stabbing him until he gradually succumbed to the injuries, a more realistic fight.
Yeah.
Action movies don't have to be realistic, but they can't be so unbelievable that you're taken out of the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. It has to have a certain continuity within the universe itself.
Yeah.
You know, there has to be consistency there. Real quick, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Jennifer Lawrence looks like one of the Siamese twins that was removed. Yes, there's something about her that just is really uncanny valley. Like, I'm not convinced she is a human. She may be an alien. Like, her head's not big enough to be one of the Greys, but maybe like one of the like retarded Nordics or something. I don't know. There's something about that chick that is just weirds me out completely.
Lalo in chat says Trump has zero chance. He's probably got a quarter or two on him. Your mom will give him the time of day. That's like 10 rides if he's got 50 cents.
He's super rich. So chicks just let him grab him by the pussy. I mean, that's what I've heard.
On your screen right now, Jack, this pissed me off.
Begin by backing up for a moment. This training started in 2017. It lasted until a few months ago.
Did you see this?
No.
The training they're talking about is military training, and he'll explain exactly what it was here in a second. This will piss you off.
10,000 soldiers were taught that national right to life was a potential domestic terrorist threat, or that soldiers with state-issued
Hang on.
pro-life license plates were a threat. How in the world does some
Not just members of national right to life, soldiers who had state-issued plates that were right to life were a potential threat.
Jesus, way to sow division within the units.
And this was training that the United States Army was giving.
I mean, are you surprised? First thing you do is try and indoctrinate your military to be loyal to your cause. That's how the revolution begins, buddy.
Don't worry, though. The military man he's talking to has an answer.
Oh,
You ready for this?
Fucking stupid.
something like that go on for so long and neither of you or anyone in leadership ever catches it? General, let's start with you.
Chairman Banks, thank you for the question. So I want to emphasize again, these training materials were improperly developed and should have never.
Why did it go
been
on for so?
He asked you why it went on for so long. 10,000 people have been through the training. Most of these training classes, at least when my dad was, in the military, 25, 30 guys. That's a lot of fucking training classes. How did it go on for 10,000 soldiers, Dick? Let me tell you, it was improperly done. It's the fucking military. How did that happen?
Yeah, doesn't this stuff have to get approved by like 3 or 4 people before it ever hits the... I mean, there's a lot of bureaucracy and checks and balances and shit.
There is a shit ton of bureaucracy when it comes to this stuff. But apparently in this case, when it was, saying right to lifers or terrorists, it slipped through the cracks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like anybody that enjoys the Second Amendment is a domestic terrorist. I bet they were taught that too.
So long. Why, I understand. I appreciate you acknowledging that. But why?
Chairman Banks, the failure was in anyone providing feedback or any supervisor not observing the training and taking immediate correction.
So your guys don't do their jobs, is what you're telling me. So you're
Sounds
either
like
competent or you're lying.
Sounds like a lot of people should be fired.
Yeah, definitely demoted, maybe brought up on charges for this kind of nonsense.
There's no excuse for how long it lasted.
And that's great, but that's not what he asked you. He asked you how it lasted that long. And he kind of gives the answer there at the end. Nobody was paying attention. That's not a good answer from the military.
That's a terrible answer.
That's not a good answer from the person working the fryer. This is a general.
Well, we've noticed this over the years that government officials don't get fired.
No.
So he's not worried about his job. His subordinates aren't worried about their job. They can fuck off all day. If you worked at the McDonald's and weren't paying attention to the fryer and the place caught on fire, you'd be fired immediately. These guys aren't worried about that. At most, they get shuffled around to some other department.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen, and I have a good reason to believe that. Danger says, wait, what's being claimed? Pro-life plates? What the fuck does that mean? Your license plate you can get for your car, you can get different things on it depending on what state you're in. You can get different designs. Some of them do have political messages. I don't know if this was like a thing around the license plate or the license plate itself. But yeah, it was just a right to life one that you can get through the state. I believe it's Florida, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, but having right to life, the military was teaching, but it's okay, Jack, because nobody believed it.
Sure.
He's going to tell us that in a minute.
Doctor, I mean, it's
I
crazy.
I would echo that.
Oh, that's a great answer. I would echo that.
So the follow-up to that is, has anyone been held accountable for it?
Jack, you want to take a guess on if anybody's been held accountable?
Look, it's either we investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing, so no, or somebody got a talking to, and that's it. or they got sent to retraining.
Assassin of the Gray, thank you so much. What is the maximum effective range of an excuse, General? Point target and area target. Yeah. It's the maximum range is saving his career.
Yeah, look, the military's job is to kill people and break stuff, not to look for phantom domestic terrorists. Okay, that's a bunch of bullshit.
This is the United States Army. This is a training that went on since 2017. You're acknowledging that y'all missed it. Any accountability at all?
In Chairman Banks, in the conduct of the investigation after it was completed, the commander directed corrective actions which have all been completed.
But
at Fort
accountability, you're the
Hey, yeah, there was some corrective action.
Yeah, we got caught doing this. Don't do it again. Don't get caught again.
Corrective action could literally just mean, okay, we're going to stop doing that.
Yeah, that's, I think, what he's implying here.
Yes, exactly. You were asked if anybody was held accountable. We took corrective action. What corrective action, Dick?
Yeah, corrective action is not accountability necessarily. So I'm going to need you to elaborate on
United States Army. Has anyone been held accountable?
The commander further delegated responsibility for any additional actions to the garrison commander.
The commander should have been held liable for this. It was under his command, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're responsible for what is happening in your facilities and with your men, aren't you? I mean, I wasn't in the military, but it seems to me that you should be held accountable if your people are fucking up.
How about the soldier who created the training to begin with? Has he been held accountable?
The individual who created the training has received corrective training, has been retrained as a trainer, and continues to perform.
Corrective training.
Retrained as a trainer, so they are still a trainer.
Yep, they just said don't be a little sneakier about it. Don't get caught again. That was one of the options I threw out there. They got a little bit of corrective discipline. That was it.
Yep.
They didn't even lose a rank, I bet.
Oh, not if he's training. No.
Accountability.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to talk about specific accountability actions because those.
Why not? That's what I'm asking you is specifics. Why wasn't this person knocked down a rank?
Sir, you work for We the People, and those are our representatives asking you a direct question about what was done to fix this.
This is exactly the problem with every government agency. They are not accountable to anyone, and they have been unaccountable for so long. They feel like they can talk back to the people that are actually oversight of them.
Yep.
And they do, and they get away with it. That shit has got to stop. We have rogue elements. This is how coups start. You have people that don't think they're accountable, especially in the military, and they start going rogue because now they know better and they know they're not going to get in trouble.
It is amazing how many times we've watched clips from Congress, and this is the House of Representatives, but both in the House and the Senate, where the people who are there work for the government. They're in government. The House or Senate is doing their oversight duty, and the answer is, yeah, I'm not going to answer that.
Yep. Yeah, because there's no consequence.
None.
You're not going to be able to fire them. They're immune from any kind of consequences.
Yep.
This guy should be begging them not to look further into this. He should be like, yes, we fired that person or we demoted him and he got retrained and we said, don't do that shit again or you're out or whatever. But he's like, no, fuck you. I'm not getting into specifics.
Hang on. Lalo in chat is trying to talk shit about MAGA having no life. Dude, you're in the chat of somebody you hate.
And we're not even talking about Trump right now.
You think you're winning by saying other people don't have a life. I hope your parents beat you. I really do.
It's kind of sad, really, because, I mean, look, dude, if you're starved for attention and want to make friends, I'm sure there's some sort of friendship thing out there you can join to like a chat roulette kind of thing.
Yeah. Go out there and be you're welcome to stay here, but I mean, at least have a little self-reflection, homie. Anyway, back to this douchebag instead of the one in chat.
Actions
Why
reside
not?
with the
You're
chain of
the
command.
United States Army. No, and you're acknowledging that mistakes were made, but has anyone been held accountable for that mistake?
No. The answer is no.
Again, Chairman, I'm not going to describe specific actions taken because those actions reside with the chain of command, and it's our policy not to discuss those.
So let me ask you.
I don't give a fuck about your policies. We're your oversight. You tell me what happened now, or we're going to investigate you. And,
What they need to do, what Congress needs to do every time these shitheads do this, especially in the House, is like, oh, really? How's that budget looking for next year?
Oh, I think they need to go beyond that and have some of these guys put in chains. Some of these guys need to be shown that they are not in charge. I'm sick of this shit. How many times do we have to watch some civil servant, middle management fuckwad get up there and start talking shit to the reps? Because that's their oversight and they don't feel the need to do it. No, some of these people need to be fucking arrested. Have the sergeant at arms take him into custody for contempt of Congress.
The problem with that is the decision that came down with Eric Holder, the judge who let him off for blatantly defying Congress. That still reigns supreme in most cases, and it's got to go through the DOJ for anything really to happen. And it's not going to happen with the current administration.
No, and it's disgusting because how often has Merrick Garland looked the other way on some corruption and some bullshit like this? That
You don't want to
stuff is
count,
not
do you?
the
Because
stuff.
I only have 10 fingers.
I know, and 10 toes and a wiener. But yeah, it's so disgusting how all of these agencies think they could give us all the middle finger. He's talking to the House of Representatives, who are our stand-ins.
Yep.
This is them talking this shit to you. That's how little they think of you. You are a pissant peasant who is unworthy of their responses. Oh, I don't want to get into specifics because I don't feel like it. Fuck you guys.
Look, he's not even asking for the name of the person who did it. Just was there. Yeah, we busted him down in rank.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah, that's all he has to say. But he's not, because there was no corrective action. There was no consequence, and we all know it. But he's still not going to give an answer because he's a fucking asshole who doesn't think he's responsible to the people that pay his goddamn salary.
Well, in fairness, he only thinks that because he's not. He should be, but he's not. Because these pussies in Congress won't do their jobs.
And they need to start. We need to get rid of a bunch of these fucking crybaby pussies and get some people with some fucking balls in there. Although the FBI and CIA will probably kill them.
Probably. Now we're getting into the part of the impact that I was telling you about earlier, Jack. This is just so stupid.
No, I'm not even supposed to be mad yet, huh?
No, you were supposed to be mad already, but this is my favorite part of the whole video.
This quick. 10,000 soldiers were told that National Right to Life was a potential terrorist group, and soldiers with pro-life license plates were a potential terrorist threat. Have those 10,000 soldiers been told that they were misinformed?
What do you think, Jackie? Do you think they were told they were misinformed?
Nah, we just ran with it.
Oh no, they didn't just do nothing. Wait for it.
Also, ultra mega Republicans are a domestic terror threat too.
Chairman, the investigation concluded based on surveys from the soldiers and also by speaking to the soldiers that at the end of the training, they did not have the misperception about the nature of those organizations.
You still told it to them. There should be a formal reply to it.
I want you to think about what he just said there. These soldiers went through this training and none of them believed the training.
Yeah, so the training was worthless.
Yes.
And a waste of time and money. You're wasting soldiers' time because it's fucking dumb. And they didn't believe you anyway, so your brainwashing didn't work. And I guess What these clowns learned from that is that they need to be better at tricking the soldiers. I guarantee you that's the message they got from this.
His best answer was our training sucks.
Yeah, it was not only inaccurate, nobody was punished for it, but it was a giant waste of our time and your tax dollars. But whatever, man.
You know, monkey's getting paid by the Russians. If you know a Russian that's giving out money to keep saying what I normally say, please give them my name. I will happily take their money for that. I don't even care.
Can we call it Tanit Media?
Yes.
I don't know what that means. Have
Despite-
those 10,000 soldiers been told that they've been misinformed?
Chairman, they have not specifically been told they've been misinformed. The investigation concluded, based on a survey of soldiers who received the training, that they did not perceive that those organizations were terrorist organizations.
Oh, and
Again,
nobody
the training
lies on
materials were
survey.
very poorly developed, and we fully acknowledge that.
It was really so your training material sucked. Cool. But you didn't have any, there was no specific training. These are surveys, Jack, not a survey of everybody who went through it. I guarantee you it wasn't all 10,000 people who've been through the
No.
training.
Some randos.
Yeah.
And the ones that bothered to fill out the survey. And did they tell the truth on the survey? Who knows? I lie on surveys all the time. I find it hilarious to give crazy answers.
This is a general of the United States Army who I'm not going to answer your questions, and hell no, we're not going to retrain them with the proper information because we did a survey.
Yeah, we did a survey, and isn't that just good enough? I mean, this is how we're going to lose wars, you guys. It starts with this level of arrogance and incompetence, and it works its way down the chain of command. Because if your upper brass are not held to account, the lower guys are going to see that and think they're not going to be held to account too. Because why would they?
Do we have any generals that won't put up with this shit? I want to know how it all came to light. I have no idea how this all came out. I want to believe that there was an officer somewhere who looked at this and went, "Oh, fuck no." But I've seen our military over the last decade. I've seen them come out and in their uniform on base in their office back tranny bullshit. I've seen them run a commercial to get people into the army by going, "Look, I had 2 moms. That's going to make me a great soldier." I have no faith in our military right now. None.
Yeah, me either. I think if we get in a military conflict right now, we're going to do very poorly.
The grunts, the enlisteds, I have faith in them. I just don't have faith in the people who are giving them direction.
Yeah, it's going to look like Vietnam, where they're like, "Go get this hill. All right, run away. Okay, go back and get that. We changed our mind again."
Dark Resurrect, thank you.
Grader.
Dark Resurrect, thank you so much for that. Feminist, $12. I'm glad I got out of the service when I did. Fuck me, this is an embarrassment. 100%, my friend.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. We deserve so much better, okay? There are plenty of good, qualified soldiers out there that know how to do shit, that should be in promotions, but they're not because of some PC nonsense.
Well, recognize that in order to become an officer in the military, short of warrant officer, for anybody who's like, you can still do it enlisted, a normal officer going through lieutenant and up through your captain or your general or even your admirals, whichever way you're going, you got to go through college.
Yeah, the indoctrination factory.
Yep. And unfortunately, then you get into the military and you see, I mean, literally they had an army recruitment video with, "I'm so badass because my moms were lesbians who took me to gay pride parades."
That was shameful. You remember that lady that made the video about how she would willingly shoot civilians?
It rings a bell. I don't remember it specifically, though.
She was like 90 pounds soaking wet, little blonde girl talking about, like, "Oh, yeah, I don't have a problem shooting American citizens." I'll find that because
You can't go higher than captain without a degree in the Army. Can you even get into the officer corps without it? 'Cause last I knew, in order to get into the officer corps, you had to have a degree. Anyway, Jack, and that's short of field promotions or, again, going into very specific things you can do as an enlisted that moves you into the officer program. But fresh off the boat, so to speak, no. Jack, I wanted to revisit Mayor Adams
Oh God.
because his indictment dropped, and yeah, it's as bad as we thought. I wanted to pay specific attention to this part though, because it made me laugh so hard. In September 2021, the Turkish official, this is somebody who they've been saying has been bribing Adams all along. The Turkish official told Eric Adams, the defendant, that it was his turn to repay the Turkish official by pressuring the New York City Fire Department to facilitate the opening of a new Turkish consular building, a 36-story skyscraper, without a fire inspection, in time for a high-profile visit by Turkey's president. At the time, the building would have failed a fire inspection. In exchange for free travel and other travel-related bribes in 2021 and 2022 arranged by the Turkish official, Adams did as instructed. Because of Adams' pressure on the FDNY official responsible for their assessment of the skyscraper's fire safety was told that he would lose his job if he failed to acquiesce, and after Adams intervened, the skyscraper opened as requested. This motherfucker made a 36-story fire hazard in the middle of the fucking city. If this charge is true, this motherfucker should never see the light of day again.
You say fire hazard, he says cash cow.
36-story building that was going to fail the fire inspection. And he threatened to sue or to fire somebody if they didn't, look the other way. Because he got some trips to Turkey. I wonder if anybody's looked into walls this way.
Probably not, because he's the proper person.
And Wall's been to China a lot in his life.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it's just for the smog.
Well, I'm sure there's some nice money there for him.
This motherfucker, these charges are dirty as shit if they're real. Yeah, I love that they repeatedly took steps to shield the solicitation. Well, at least that shows they knew what they were doing was wrong. I keep waiting for just one of these indictments to go, and this motherfucker did it out in the open and told everybody. They always act like it's a shock that they tried to hide their illegal behavior. New York City's public matching funds program. This is the other really big part of this, is because what they're saying he did. Remember we talked about yesterday the KSK construction group that was giving him. They gave him $13,950. I can't believe I remember that number. In small donations, all at one time from members of the construction crew. Well, it turns out, if this indictment is correct, that a lot of that money came from places like Turkey. And it's important, the fact that they were giving such small donations, because in New York, once you qualify at a certain point in the race, there's a matching program for small donations. So
isn't this what Dinesh D'Souza got in trouble for?
I think so, but I don't remember exactly what he got in trouble for, the specifics.
Yeah, it was some kind of campaign donation nonsense.
Well, in this case, because of him doing that, he was basically stealing from the city.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's up here in number 4. Is that where they lay that out? No, it's this one. It's 3. Eric Adams, the defendant, compounded his gains from the straw contributions. That's fake contributions through a person to hide where the money really came from, or to have more donations. So you have small donations that can be matched by city funds. His gains from the straw contributions by using them to defraud New York City and steal public funds. New York has a matching funds program that matches small dollar contributions from individual city residents up to 8 times their amount in public funds. This motherfucker was stealing from the peeps.
Did he really think he was going to get away with this?
Um,
It sounds like they didn't do a very good job of even remotely trying to cover their tracks.
I don't know how they got found out. Remember, all of this kicks off in November of last year. Yeah, right.
Convenient.
Let's see. We know that his campaign or his funds manager, campaign Chicky Poo, Miss Suggs. Ugh, that's such a
Suggs.
horrible name. That she got raided in November of last year. They took all her shit. Then they took his shit and they took his deputy mayor's shit. They got electronic stuff from all over. I don't know why these people, even the mob, learned to, sit outside of a pizza shop to discuss stuff where there couldn't be microphones. These idiots are doing it on their phones. And just thinking, nobody will pay attention. I don't.
That's true. Dangerous. Scooby-Doo might have uncovered this.
Could have been. I do not understand how so many of the criminals, and it's not just in politics. I watch a lot of true crime stuff, Jack. It's amazing how many of these assholes put their crimes in writing.
Oh yeah. I was watching some documentary the other day, and this lady's calling her co-conspirator from one prison phone to another prison phone.
Yes.
And he's like, "Oh, be careful what you say. They're probably listening." And then she proceeds to say exactly what would get them found guilty.
I mean, we have that going on in the Andrew Tate case where they have his prison phone calls where it's like, yeah, go out there and tell these bitches to lie.
Yeah, my dad used to have a great expression that kind of covers this. Orange is not the color of rocket science.
It's really not. You're right. That's a fair assessment. Maybe I'm too smart to be a criminal, Jack, because none of this shit would be happening over any kind of electronic communication. And if you email me, my answer would be, what the fuck are you even talking about?
Yep. I mean, criminals need to kind of step up their game. Again, no pride in the workplace.
Didn't Tiger King write out his plan to kill the Carol lady? I think so. I didn't watch that whole thing, so everything I know about it is secondhand. But yeah. Anyway, so Adams is in some real trouble here. And I don't think your little speech the other day is going to cut it, Eric. I think you might be fucked here. Now, look, this is the U.S. attorney out of the Manhattan office. So this could all be bullshit, Jack.
It could be, but I'm willing to believe it's probably accurate. But he thought he was protected because he's a Democrat. But then he made the mistake of going against the narrative on illegal immigration. And once you stab them in the back, you are dead to them.
Maybe Trump will pardon him. Turkey, thank you so much. They're not on to us, are they? No, you're good. You're good. Thank you for the donation. You're fine. I just can't believe he thought he would get away with it. If they have the evidence they're claiming to, he's going away for a long time, Jack. This isn't bitch set me up kind of time. This is 30, 40 years kind of shit.
Yeah, well, again, he seems like a pretty stupid person, and this is a pretty stupid crime.
I don't get how you're this dumb though.
Because criminals are stupid people. They're a cowardly and superstitious lot full of retardation.
You had, and again, I don't remember if it's listed in there, but just CNN yesterday was able to find out. It took 5 reporters, sure, but they were able to go back and look and see that KSK company was it 11 people donated on the same fucking day.
Probably within the same hour.
You didn't think to split that up over a week? It's simple shit. Everybody, yeah, there is no such thing as the perfect crime. I think there is. I just don't think there's a criminal smart enough to do it.
Like, smart criminals are scary, and they're usually not the ones that get caught. So, if you run into a smart criminal, they're terrifying people. Dumb criminals are just likely to shank you in the shower, but they're in jail for a reason, because most people are not smart when they commit crime.
Is Eric Adams worse than AOC? How do you mean worse? Criminally, sure. I mean, because when she was, let's say, defrauding the system, it was legal within the way she was doing it. She was at least smart enough, or her handlers were smart enough to do that.
Yeah,
But-
they were dancing on the edges of the line, but still within the boundaries.
But if you're talking about who's actually smarter, Eric is actually a lot smarter than she is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He was just dumb in this. Speaking of criminals, you guys see Nancy Pelosi was insider trading again. Yeah, her husband sold what, $500K worth of stock right before the company got hit with what, an FEC complaint or a
Investigation.
SEC complaint.
I'm not surprised.
I didn't read the story. I saw a headline about it. Yeah, that's how Pelosi's made all of her money. Her husband invests and he just happens to get out right before things go bad, or puts a bunch of money in right before there's going to be something positive that comes out for them that only Congress knew about.
Yeah.
Weird.
Weird how that happens. It's purely coincidental. Okay, I was drinking some vodka, and sometimes loose lips sink ships. Real quick though, thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. There is a perfect crime: get involved in government bureaucracy. That's a good point.
Dangerous. Thank you. Testing 1 2. Testing. Mic check. No, I'm sure no one is listening in. By the way, as a Democrat, how pissed would you be if you're indicted before Tiffany Henyard? Her crimes are out in the open. I don't know if I'd be mad.
I would.
I'd just
that
be
bitch
mad
is corrupt.
But how many of them have come out and had the balls to be like, this bitch needs to be thrown in jail?
That's fair.
I mean, they're Democrats. So as a Democrat, I wouldn't be upset by it. I'd be like, yeah, this makes sense. Old Buddha of Wisdom, thank you so much. Morning, monkey. Today is my birthday. You and Shio share a birthday, and Shio got one, and now it's your turn, Buddha. This one's for you, my friend. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Buddha.
old Buddha of Wisdom.
Happy birthday
birthday
to you. Happy birthday, sir. Hope you have a great one. I really, really do.
Absolutely.
I'm just assuming you're a dude because there's like a dude picture and your name is Buddha. If you're a chick, you're kind of ugly, homie.
If you're a
I'm
chick,
saying.
stop using a dude's name. It's rude.
Happy birthday. I hope you have a good one. I really do. Has Menendez been thrown in prison yet? No. He hasn't even been sentenced yet.
I think he's going to go for a while, though. He's an idiot.
What? Don't you keep gold bars in your house?
I wish I had gold bars. That would be a problem I'll confront when it comes. But they won't be in my fucking freezer. You know why? My frozen food's in there. Real quick,
Fair.
Thank you, Eagle, for the donation. It says no message. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Hope your day's going well.
Yeah. Menendez is probably going away for what's the rest of his life because he's old as shit anyway. But yeah, it's the last I knew, he hadn't even been sentenced yet. and he'll be out on release until he's sentenced, which I don't understand why we do that, Jack.
So you can
I
get
mean,
your affairs in order.
I guess, but I feel like you were convicted of a crime, a major crime. We're not talking about shoplifting here. We're talking about years and years of corruption and bribery. He's going to jail for a long time. Like, you know, until we give him the sentence, he can roam around. He's a convicted felon. And I realized that this would mean Trump would have to be in jail right now too, because technically he's a convicted felon. But that system doesn't make sense to me. Even there's some where it's like, oh, he's out awaiting an appeal. I'm like, yeah, but he's been found guilty already. If the appeal turns out in his favor, cool. But it just feels like you're kind of letting him get away with it. Just saying.
I think they do that on. There's certain crimes you don't get that though.
No, like
they immediately
violent
take you into
crimes, you
custody.
don't.
Yeah, but I get it. It's just so. I don't know. When the politicians do it, I feel like they should be thrown in prison or under the prison because I have total contempt for them as people. So I don't know. I'm kind of biased on this one.
But then I see, you know, the shit they pulled with Trump, and I don't think Trump should be in jail for that because I think it was a political witch hunt.
Absolutely.
And so I'm kind of glad for the system there. But if we're talking about whether it makes sense or not, it like 100% doesn't.
I think the intention is good, but the execution of it is rather poorly maintained. Like some people should be released and they release them anyway just out of like habit.
Yeah.
Because like if you're like some
yeah.
poor dude who lives in a trailer or something and you gotta find somebody to take care of your dog and pay your bills and stuff like that, I get that. But somebody like Menendez who's been fucking over people and stealing money and getting bribes, yeah, screw that guy. I have no sympathy for him.
All right, what else do we have today? Oh, I don't care about that one.
Oh, that video I was talking about is the second link.
Which video?
About the soldier.
Oh, who threatened to shoot people?
No, I was talking about like she has no issue shooting Americans.
Yeah. I don't know if we can watch that on here.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's not a direct violent threat or anything. We've watched it before.
How long ago did we watch it before?
It was a couple years back.
All right, I'm trusting you on this one. If we get taken down, I'm blaming you.
Nah, that's fair. Your trust is ludicrous. I can't hear it.
You can't hear it. That's not good. Because it's on the.
Did you turn the volume up?
Volume's up as high as it goes.
I could just drop the link in chat and people could watch it later.
Could you guys hear it? I mean, it was only up for half a second. She does talk kind of soft, but
understand that if active duty military.
You can't hear that?
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh, okay. Say, because I didn't do anything that should have had any problem with the sound.
I blame others.
Understand that if active duty military actually get deployed within the United States, that weapon is not just pointed at other people, other countries. It's pointed at you. If you do not get in your house when I tell you to, you become the enemy. Martial law.
Oh, I remember that. And I get why people have a problem with her saying that, but if you're talking about instituting martial law, I mean, you are talking about the government being able to kill its citizens.
Yeah, I have the type of people that would use martial law. I think that kind of power is very dangerous, and the fact that we have people that wouldn't even hesitate to shoot a fellow American citizen because they're like, "What's going on?" That does concern me a bit.
It's very, very alarming how okay she is with that.
Yeah.
And look, there might be times where it could be appropriate. I don't want to say martial law would never make sense, but I can't think of a time where it would.
I mean, like the riots back in the 70s where they're burning down cities and shit like that. I get that. We probably should have instituted some martial law during some of the George Floyd riots for certain parts of the city. But I don't think you could just shoot anyone. You shoot looters.
Well, there's a difference between a city declaring it and the federal government declaring it.
Yeah.
It's a policing action, and when you're talking about police doing it, I'm more forgiving than soldiers being like, I'm gonna kill an American. Your job's literally to defend us.
Until it's not.
And if I remember correctly, wasn't that over COVID?
I think it was.
Yeah, so she's like, I'll shoot your ass for breathing fresh air.
Bastards. Wanting that fresh air, corrupting it with your unvaccinated lungs.
And like I said, in reality, when martial law, she's not wrong about what could happen. It's just weird that she's so gung-ho for it.
Well, America is a cis-het colonialist nation, so...
If she was like, I would be forced to do that because that's my job, and then I'd understand it, but she's like, I'll kill a motherfucker.
She looks like she's getting wet thinking about it.
Yes. That's the problem. I mean, again, her description of martial law is not just a fun time. Everybody hangs out in their house because it's cool.
No, that's like purge levels of bad.
Yeah. Shit has gone sideways in a really bad way.
Yeah. Thank you, Evolved Potato. I think they don't put them in jail right away because technically he could be sentenced to no jail time. So if he was in jail, it would be an opening for a lawsuit for being in jail, even though they weren't sentenced to it. I hadn't thought of that. I guess that's possible.
But, I mean, you could fix that easy with just like, oh, it's sentencing day. I wasn't giving any jail. Your jail is time served. It's literally that easy.
That's true, I suppose.
Just
I don't know.
That out there.
I don't know. That's just we have a strange system.
Tons of people have been their sentences time served. I'm just saying. Not that you guys can hear me, but if you're in Florida right now, keep your head down.
Yeah. Oh my God, that looks nasty.
Helene is destroying parts of Florida right now. I hit it a category 4.
Yeah, it's like Mother Earth gave America's Wang a BJ.
Yeah, yeah. Although I agree with the guy, I forget what comedian was, said that Florida is not America's wiener, it's our balls.
That's a scrotum.
Yeah, because it's hanging down where, Maine is sticking up.
That's a good point.
That's our wiener. So our ball sack's getting a lashing right now. And
tongue lashing.
Man, I'm hearing they're overblowing the severity. I prefer them to overblow severity in these things because when they don't, thousands of people in Louisiana die.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Louisiana.
That's fair.
Don't build your city near a low-lying water area where you're technically below sea level.
And that is a good point, but there's a lot of places that are built below sea level that don't have this issue because they take care of the levees and shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, Louisiana is notoriously corrupt too.
It is 100. Louisiana and Illinois are the two states that anytime something corrupt happens, everybody talks about how corrupt they are. And I'm like, if we all know this, why is it still corrupt?
I don't know. It's just sort of this thing that we allow for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they said it's category 3 storm. By the time it gets halfway across the state, it'll be like a tropical storm because it's going to lose so much momentum.
Category 3 and 4 change at 130 mile an hour sustained winds. As it was first hitting the coast, it was at 125. So it's close enough to a category 4. Get your asses someplace safe. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good advice.
Coming straight for Ohio and Michigan. I actually would rather live in the hurricane area than live in Michigan after a hurricane because we just get dumped on for weeks with rain afterwards.
Yeah, and I gotta mow my lawn, and every time I go to mow it, it fucking rains. And I have
Yep.
electric mower, so I'm not taking that chance. How'd Jack die?
You
Oh,
ever-
he's running a lawnmower on wet grass like a tard.
You ever been in a hurricane?
No, my brother was in a level 1 in Florida because he used to live in Florida. And he was in a hotel at the time because they had just gotten back from tour. And he's like, yeah, it sucked pretty bad, especially when the cable went out.
We were there for Gloria in 85, I think is when Gloria hits. But mom freaked out and we went up into the mountains, so we didn't deal with any of it. And then years later, this is after mom had died. I forget which hurricane hit. It was mild. But a hurricane, as it comes over, there's nice weather, and then this bitch of a storm moves through and takes about a day, and then it's done.
Yeah.
And you got to clean up anything that needs cleaned up. Meanwhile, the rest of the country gets effects from that shit for the next month, and
Yeah.
it sucks. It's still better than having your house blown over. I'm not trying to take away the impact of really bad storms. But it sucks when you have to deal with the aftermath of that shit. What I'm saying is storms need to stay on the East Coast where they belong and leave the rest of us the fuck alone.
Yeah, wash some of the piss smell out of New York. Just leave us alone.
Yeah, clean that shit up.
I think we're gonna get like a week's worth of like heavy rain, and that'll be about it. Maybe slightly more off and on thunderstorms or something. That's usually what happens when it comes up our way, but I'm not overly worried about it.
I saw somebody in chat there said Ohio needs the rain. As long as it stops in Ohio, because Michigan doesn't. It has rained more this summer than it didn't rain by a lot.
My problem with that is I have shit I want to do. Like I want to go to a corn maze. I don't want to walk through the mud.
Fair.
Ohio is a kind of a shitty state for some of this. I'm just glad I don't live in Indiana.
Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Worst I'm going to have to deal with in Tennessee is flooding and potential tornado spin-ups with the warm air we are getting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Tennessee gets a lot of tornadoes.
I also would rather live where tornadoes are than hurricanes where hurricanes are than tornadoes, because you get warnings with hurricanes. And with tornadoes, they're like, you might get one. Frosted, thank you. In Springfield, it'll rain cats and dogs.
I know
and
there'll be a bunch of
everybody will be
Haitians
well
outside
fed.
with. Oh, sorry, stepped on you there.
Said everybody be well fed.
No, the Haitians will be outside with pots and pans, like licking their lips, and they'll just get rained on.
It needs to visit Oklahoma where bone dry. It's Oklahoma, man. What do you expect? Ain't that where the Dust Bowl started?
I think so. That was mostly bad farming tactics, but
that's fair enough. But it's fucking Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if you guys can hear my voice, then you're probably not in the bad areas of the hurricane.
Or it hasn't hit you yet.
Or it hasn't hit you yet. If you're in its path, seriously, take these storms. It's very easy if you live in those areas. You get so many warnings, or you'll get one like this hurricane's coming, and by the time it actually hits you, it's a tropical storm at worst, and to get very lazy about it. And then Katrina hits.
Oh yeah, I think it was Evil One was in Katrina. Somebody from chat was in Katrina.
Yeah.
And dear God, that sounded horrible.
Or Andrew hits, which just decimated Florida.
Yeah.
They're not a joke, man. They can destroy it. It's like a tornado filled with water the size of a state.
Yeah.
That's nothing to fuck around with.
Oh, Adebisi was in Houston for Katrina. They got hit really hard too.
Oh.
A lot of people forget about that.
Yeah, Alabama got destroyed in that, and nobody says shit about it.
Well, could you tell the difference? I mean, it's Alabama.
We like
You
our
know what I would
inbreds
be
to have
worried
a
about?
different
Oh,
accent. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I keep stepping on you. What'd you say?
Oh, go ahead. I don't even remember.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would be worried if I lived in Galveston. Because in what was it, 1909 or something? A tornado leveled the entire city.
A hurricane.
Or hurricane, yeah. Hurricane leveled the entire city and killed like tons of people. That's what I would be thinking about every time they're like, "Oh, there's a hurricane warning. It's going to go in
Yeah.
the Gulf and hit New Orleans. What if it deviates? It's going to hit Galveston and wipe the place out again."
Galveston is one that is really scary because this is before we have good warning systems.
Yeah.
These people didn't even know what was about to hit them. Unlike with Katrina or something where we saw it coming and they were warned and they're like, fuck it, I'll be fine staying here on my roof. These people had no idea. And yeah, it fucking devastated Galveston.
It's amazing how fast that water can rise too.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yeah, because anybody that's been in a flood, you know that the water can come in real fast, but you get like 4 or 5 feet of that from a hurricane, you might drown before you have time to do anything.
Okay, and finally, I don't know how to talk about this story, Jack, because I don't want to watch the guy's video. You and I both watched it. I watched most of it, or at least half of it. This whore on the screen, I'm just going to be honest, is suing a YouTube creator or threatening to sue a YouTube creator. Because the YouTube creator suggested that she used to be a prostitute. And she sent him a cease and desist letter, supposedly from, I'm guessing, Robert Barnes, given the quality of the legal work. Telling him he better stop calling her a whore and suggesting she used to be a whore because she wasn't a whore and he has no reason to think she was a whore. The problem with that is the idea that she used to be a whore comes from her. There's a tweet where she said that she's going to get back into sex work because at least she knew she was getting fucked then. I'm paraphrasing, but all of those words are in there.
Yeah.
And she's like, how dare you suggest I used to be a whore when I said I used to be a whore? And in her cease and desist, she tries to change it up to where what she meant by sex work was that she did modeling. She called it modeling, Jack.
Yeah, that's not sex work.
It's certainly not getting fucked, which
Yeah.
was her words, not mine. I forget her name. Who does she work for again?
Kotaku.
Kotaku, which makes so much sense.
Yeah.
A whore at Kotaku. Who would have guessed?
Well, I mean, yeah.
A whore in game journalism? Really? Yeah. So she's all pissy, and she sent again just a horrible look. People, if you're gonna try to scare people with legal shit, actually go get a real lawyer to write up your cease and desist letter. Because otherwise, it's one, a cease and desist is meaningless anyway. It's a threat.
Yeah.
And you can tell them to piss up a rope. And even if you comply, they can still sue you.
Yep.
It's not like a cease and desist, like this is the end of it. No, it's just a way to try to scare people.
A lot of times, like this one, if he were to comply with what this cease and desist said, it would make him look guilty. And then they could use it as evidence that he would is admitting to what they said.
Yeah, they want him to admit that he lied and apologize. And frankly, he was much nicer about it than I would. My sole response would have been, fuck yourself. Instead of letting other guys do it for money, fuck yourself.
That would have been great.
It always amazes me how nice people are to folks like this who come after them, because
Yeah.
I just couldn't be. I would be such a douchebag to them.
Well, and in the letter, she was like, your continual videos are tantamount to harassment. This bitch called that dude's wife.
Yeah. And I don't follow him, so I don't know how true it is. But in his video, he says he hasn't made a video on her in more than 2 months. And suddenly he gets this cease and desist from this dirty whore.
Yeah, his video is pretty entertaining, and I would love to see deposition videos if this lol suit goes through.
Retract and apologize. Boo, you whore. Yeah, I got your retraction. Fuck off.
And she's not attractive.
It is amazing how many people, and it really seems to be on YouTube that I see this so often, think slapping together some bullshit cease and desist is going to do anything. I'm sending you this letter to tell you to stop being mean to me. Go fuck yourself. I really don't care. Go fuck yourself. Go ahead. Take me to court. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Which cheap dude gave you the $1 bill? Answer, all of them did. Wow. Yeah, and I'm not familiar with her or her content or why he's pissy with. I mean, she works for Kotaku, so I could probably guess. Their take on video games is just trash, man. Just trash.
Yeah, I often wonder if they even like video games.
No, they don't. They like money, which so do I, and they like their leftist agenda, which they can go fuck themselves.
Sort of like Paula Paulding. She created the Bothered About Dungeons and Dragons group. She talked about D&D more than the people that worked for D&D. It probably sold more of their product because of it. I kind of get that impression from Kotaku.
They are what's wrong with game. Remember, I was telling you, what game was it we talked about recently? But one of the games, I showed you a clip from an article where it said that it was well received by game reviewers. It's weird that gamers aren't buying it.
Oh, is that the Outland or whatever?
No. That game was just trashed. I forget which game this one was, because it did okay, but it did. Star Wars Outlaws. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
But it's because reviewers are people like her who don't actually like video games and want video games to be something that is boring and unplayable. And it's not just, this is why that other guy annoyed me so much, because it's not just woke shit. Woke is a problem in video games. Thank you, Sarkeesian, you fucking whore. But a much bigger problem is the games just suck. They just suck. They're not fun. They're preachy. They're boring as fuck. And anybody with any kind of sense will sit down to play it and go, I can't believe I paid $70 for this. The Kotaku said it was great. And it's because the people who do the reviews, no, they're not gamers. They're not people who, they are looking for an agenda. That's it. Did it have enough small... What game is it that just came out or is coming out, and they released the character creator, and you can do all kinds of shit with the character creator except make big boobs and a big ass on a woman?
What?
Yeah. The biggest cup size you can give women is like an A+. That's it.
Wow, so some Asians made it.
Dragon Age, thank you. The new Dragon Age, Veilguard. That's what it was. And yeah, there were a whole bunch of women gamers who were like, excuse me, my boobs are bigger than this. Where's my representation?
I'm sure some dudes were saying that too.
Dude, seriously, the boobs you can put on the chicks are no bigger than a normal fat guy's man boobs.
Wow.
They're not big. And look, I don't really give a shit about the titties on the video game, but it is funny to me that you can make a trans character, but you can't give them ample breasts, for
Yeah.
inclusion, because no women have big titties.
And no trans person has ever gone overboard on the size of those boobies.
No, there's totally not a Canadian teacher who wore a prosthetic where the titties literally went to the waistline and would have weighed about 500 pounds each if they were real. But yeah, it's just so stupid, so dumb. But that's what and did you see Star Wars Outlaws?
No.
My biggest problem with Star Wars Outlaws is it just looks boring as fuck. It looks boring. It's kind of a stealth game, which is not my genre to begin with, but it's so empty and like barely anything is happening through most of it. I don't understand why anybody paid money for it.
Because that creates controversy, and that they don't like that. You don't want anything like controversial, like violence.
The female character in it, the model that it's based on, she's actually mildly attractive. But when they put her on the screen, she looks like a video game character these days.
Oh, so
like,
she
oh,
looks
look.
grumpy.
Man chin. I haven't seen that on a woman since the last video game I played.
What is with that? Like, do women not have normal jawlines anymore? Or are they all like Eric Stoltz from Mask?
We have to pretend that all women are ugly now for some reason because it's not empowering to be pretty.
I guess not.
I saw another fucking piece of shit. What was that game everybody got mad about because the chick was skinny and had big old titties, the Japanese girl? I saw another game reviewer talking about that and how fucking trash it was because of the unrealistic body type. It's literally a motion capture of her with her direct proportion. Stellar Blade. Thank you, Dark Resurrect. And everybody else who said it. But this is the notion of no woman is actually, it's literally her dimensions. It's like, remember the British thing where they had the swimsuit model in their ads and they took it down because it was an unrealistic body thing and it was a real woman?
Yeah. So stupid.
What the fuck is going on in our world?
Everything's ridiculous.
That real woman isn't real. Like
she's promoting an unhealthy body image for women.
If Star Wars Outlaw had any more bugs, it would become a Starship Troopers game. I haven't played it. I've just seen some gameplay of it, and it looks boring as fuck. It really does. For a game released in this year, how empty that is sad. It's almost as bad as oh fuck, now I can't think of that one. The Bethesda space game. Help me out here, fellas.
Dustborn?
No. Starborn, actually, I think. Is it Starborn? Is that the name of it? Starbound? Star something. And I had fun with that game, but it is amazing how empty that game feels. Starfield, thank you guys. Thank you. Getting ready for their first or their, I don't know if they've had any DLCs because I haven't played it since I beat it. But they do have a big DLC coming out. Like, oh, more empty space.
Well, you forgot the name, so that's not a good sign for the game.
That game was boring as shit. It was just boring. The story didn't make any sense from the jump. In Bethesda games, especially in the in Oblivion, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, that's the name. In the Elder Scrolls series, you start out as a prisoner of some sort and you're kind of thrust into the story. In Oblivion, the king is escaping and he happens to go through your cell because that's where the secret escape route is. Probably not a good idea to put that in a cell people use, but
you would think not.
The king immediately recognizes you as a special person who has to get things done. and then you leave and you can go do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to follow the main story literally at all. But it gives you a reason to. At least it gives you a prompting. In Starfield, you touch this rock and you have a vision, and then a dude shows up and gives you his ship and goes, "Go talk to these people." I don't want to talk to them. You have to go talk to these people. You literally just met me and you gave me your starship and your robot. Why?
Now you're telling me what to do? What are you, my dad?
It is such a horrible introduction. I never felt pulled into that game at all. I had fun with the shipbuilding, but you couldn't just build whatever you wanted because they had some really unrealistic module kind of things you had to do. It was just a bad game. It was what did I tell you my biggest problem with games is that boring. It was boring as shit.
Yeah, I play games to not be bored. So seems like that's counterintuitive.
A month ago, I just finished Red Dead Redemption 2 for like the 5th time, and I had a blast the whole time. It's not that hard to make a game fun. Although it seems these days game designers are opposed to it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. It makes no sense to me. I still play old Atari games because they're fun.
Black Romeo, you're right. You are right. That cell was supposed to be emptied. I forgot about that because they mentioned that when you're in there. They arrested you and they put you in an empty cell. True. We don't see when you're arrested. You just wake up in that dungeon. But you are right. It's been a long time since I started Oblivion, and yeah, you weren't even supposed to be in that cell, which makes sense because it has
to be in this cell today.
It has a secret escape route for the fucking king. Probably not the best place to put a prisoner.
Really not. It's poor planning.
I had a lot of fun with Oblivion too, and if they would update that, I'd play the fuck out of it. I just can't get myself into Skyrim.
I love Skyrim, and if they would update Oblivion to at least that level of graphics, I would play the shit out of it.
I watched a video the other day about what happened with the Elder Scrolls, and each time it just gets a little more handholdy.
Oh, yeah.
And especially if you go back to like Arena and Daggerfall and even Morrowind, where you go figure something out to do, dude. We're not telling you. You get into Oblivion and like, okay, go here. That's where Joffrey will meet you. And then you get into Skyrim and it's like step A, step B, step C, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think some games can be too open-ended. Yeah. I'm not one of those people like there should never be a mark. Go fuck yourself. If you got that much time, fine. I don't. But there's just something about Skyrim that rubbed me wrong. I got so annoyed with it.
I had a blast. I would wander around with stealing plates and cups from every place. Like I went back to the same dungeon like 8 times so I could clear out every single item in it.
I did that in Oblivion. I would steal everything. Plus, Oblivion has the Dark Brotherhood quest in the at the party.
Oh yeah.
If you played it, you know. If you didn't, you have no idea. Dark Resurrect, thank you so much for that. Feminist, $12. Beyond all the political woke shit in modern games, at the core of them, they are boring at best or absurdly bad stories at worst. Yeah, they're just the kind of thinking that goes into them makes Hollywood look smart.
But what I've discovered is that there is a creativity problem in entertainment. And I mean all of entertainment, movies, comics, games, pick your genre. They don't seem to be able to create new things. They just sort of rip off stuff that came out 10 years ago.
Yeah. Black Romeo, I actually agree with you on that. He said Oblivion was fun, but the level scaling is nightmarish. If you level non-combat skills, all the enemies get stronger because they only care about level, not what you level. My heater just kicked on. It's getting cold. I still hate games that do that, the level scaling. I get why they did it because they wanted to keep it fun throughout, but if you play Oblivion's story, just the story, don't do anything else, you'll beat the game at like level 10, and it's a cakewalk. It's nothing. If you level yourself up and go through all the side quests and stuff like that, by the time you get to the final fight, it is ridiculously hard. And I like to feel like I got more powerful, and you never really do in Oblivion because of that. And so many games have done that since, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not either. Look, I understand, like, if you're between this range, the bad guys are going to be beefed up a little bit to make it a little harder, but you should be able to be powerful. It's kind of the fantasy element of it is I want to play a hero that's tough. I don't want to play Dark Souls all the time where I'm dying constantly and get pissed off.
The old school games, as you got more powerful, enemies would run away from you if they were too low level.
Yeah.
And it was a smart way to deal with it. That way you're not having to kill a slime every 2 seconds, even though it's no threat to you whatsoever. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Dragon Warrior. But when it comes to harder fights, then those are the ones that you still get into. So you still feel more powerful, because if you do end up in one of those smaller fights, you just absolutely destroy it. But there's a reason for you getting that powerful, because you're going to fight harder and harder enemies further away from the safe areas, which again makes fucking sense. Chances are you don't need to be strapped at the police station, Jack, but you go 6 blocks east, you might need one.
Yeah, that's true. I've lived in those neighborhoods.
Why are games so woke? It's DEI. DEI invested everything with all those DEI jobs. With those jobs gone, people think the wokeness will end. It won't. DEI is over its bridge time now. DEI is going to keep existing. I mean, it's literally just the latest iteration of political correctness.
Yeah.
It's
also
affirmative action.
Yes, exactly.
This shit's been around for decades. We're going on a century here soon of this stupid nonsense, except for now it's acceptable for some dumbass reason. But again, games being woke isn't the problem. You could, as I said yesterday, man, Hogwarts Legacy, you can make a really good argument that game is woke, but it is fun as fuck, Jack. The spellcasting and everything in that game is engaging and fun. The story's kind of shit, but I mean, they were working with modern day writers, so you know,
yeah.
a lot of the side quests are a lot of fun. And that was a problem in Starfield too, is that a lot of the side quests in Starfield were fun, but they were short, and the main story was boring to a criminal degree.
Ooh, that's not a winning indictment of this game. I don't think I want to play this one.
Todd Howard should come lick my balls clean after I sat naked in a hot room for 7 days for that fucking game. Just started Hogwarts Legacy. I'm surprised by how much I like it. It's just fun. It's just fun. Again, don't pay much attention to the story because the story's stupid as shit. But the game is very fun. On that, we are at the 2-hour mark, Jack. And one of the reasons we were later tonight than I wanted to be is because I was trying to get Unity reinstalled on my computer, and it was pissing me off.
Oh, what's that? What's is it a game?
Unity is a game engine.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, before anybody gets excited, I'm not making a game. I'm just fucking around with it because it entertains me. But Unity, as much as I love it, can also be a pain in the ass because they're different versions. When they make major updates, can cause issues, and it doesn't uninstall it was a pain in the ass. But I finally bent it to my fucking will right before we started, so I'm gonna go fuck around in that for a while. Did you see they're making Hogwarts Legacy 2? I thought that was known for quite a while. I mean, pretty much as soon as the first one did so well, I thought they'd announced that. I'm glad they are. I haven't played it since I first beat it when it first came out, so I haven't done any of the Quidditch or any of that shit in it.
Oh,
but
really? Just skip that, or?
it wasn't in the game yet.
Oh, I see.
Quidditch was added in a DLC.
Oh.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are way too kind. Hoko has a birthday before we leave, Jack. So let's do this real fast. Hoko, my friend, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday
to you.
to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear Hoko.
dear
Sports.
Hoko. Happy birthday,
birthday
to you.
To you.
Happy birthday. Hope you have a great one. I really, really do. Jack, anything you want to show out?
No, I haven't done anything. Thank you guys so much for the donations and coming out and supporting us. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, not a long drawn out one tonight, guys. I don't know why I still have the horror on the screen. I just wasn't paying attention, so it's not an endorsement of horrors. I just want to put that out there. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, thanks for coming. If you are near Florida or you're near that storm, please stay safe. Take care of yourself, guys. We love you. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I just sang so I don't feel like I should have to do it again. You guys are dicks for making me do this every night. I resent you and I hope your balls itch. There's your fucking song. Go away.